And now we're counting unit squares to find area, which means I have a feeling this is going to go really fast. Okay, so what's the area? 3 by 4 is 12. Although we're supposed to be counting, right? So let's go ahead and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I count that right? I'm paranoid all of a sudden. Okay, just making sure. Which one has 6 square centimeters? Well, I don't even have to look any further. It's that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks like 7 to me. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Is it me, or does that look like a big middle finger? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11. A is clearly not 13 centimeters, and I don't even have to check. Can you see, just out of curiosity, this is a nice little quiz moment, but not really. Can you see why I was able to tell without even having to count that that is not 13 squares? Can you see that? That's an even number, right? It's 2 rows that are even, so 13 is clearly not whatever that is. I don't have to count it. Yeah, perfect. All right, so 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It says choose one answer, so we're done. Thank you, Khan Academy. Good of you to catch up. Done and done. Now we're going to compare area with unit squares. Each square in the grid is a unit square, blah, blah, blah. I do like that it keeps telling us that each unit is a square with an area of 1 square unit, because later on we're going to alter the size of these units. Oh, neat. Okay, so shape A is what? 4, 5, 6. Oh, I see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So A is fewer unit squares, so the area is less. Again, just a check for understanding. When we say less area, in this case, right now, we're talking about unit squares. I've been reading a lot of Terry Pratchett Discworld lately. This is a very big part of Terry Pratchett's theory of lies to children. Area isn't actually counting unit squares. That's not what it's actually about. We're just breaking it down into its absolute simplest form so that we can layer on complex ideas. You should not be able to expect a 3rd grader to be able to calculate the surface area of a complex object. We are making it simple so that we can work our way up to more complicated explanations later. The problem comes when people hold on to the simple explanations to the exclusion of all else and refuse to learn the more complicated truths later. And that's not just in math, that's in everything. Anyway, rant over. Moving on. Let's see, that's 12, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. A is the bigger one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 16. B has the greater area. How do we know? Because it covers the most space. Because it covers the most space. And that's another good way of putting it. Area is 2-dimensional space, right? It's how much space do things take up. I have a green screen back here, which you can't see unless I'm screwing up. There's the edge of it, and there's the edge of it, and it takes up an area on my wall. So we're making a jump from sort of 1-dimensional distances to 2-dimensional areas, and it can be a tough leap, especially intuitively. I like to think of area as how much paint something needs to coat it, which also is a lie to children, because in reality, paint also depends on thickness and how much of it you put on and how many layers you put on. But I like to think initially of area as how much paint would it take to cover the surface. Each square in the grid is a unit, blah, blah, blah. Shape A, let's see, we've got 4, 5, 6, and A is 5. So A is fewer unit squares, and that means the area of A is less. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. That's 12, 13, 14. It looks like B has the larger area. Now, you probably could have just looked at these two and seen that B has a bigger area than A. And if you can do that, that's valid. But if someone says, well, wait a second, how do you know? You need to be able to back it up, right? It's okay if you know the answer yourself without having to do the work, but you do also in math and in life need to be able to explain your process to someone who doesn't understand. And you also need to be able to understand other people who use different processes to get to the same result. Absolute basic Common Core pedagogy right there. Clearly, A is the larger one. And clearly is a word that math professors like to use when they either just don't want to explain or they feel like the explanation is too obvious. I can clearly see that I could fit this one inside that one. It covers the most space. Four, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. B is the larger. So again, A is fewer and the area of A is less. And that is compare area with unit squares.